Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be a man's social status value and hypergamy. So I've got an email here from a viewer, and so he asked about some of the concepts for my book, 3% Man, and also he's obviously been reading some of the stuff on from the red pill community and hypergamy, and so he's got some questions on it because he's trying to ascertain if he understands properly what's in 3% Man. So he brings up some good questions. So I have a quote that I wrote, and we'll go through his email. And the quote says, "Women want to be in a love story with men they trust, look up to, and admire. The number one most important thing that women find attractive in men is confidence. Men who act and feel like they don't deserve the women they are with results in their women losing attraction and respect for them. No respect results in no love. If men don't feel worthy of their women, eventually the women will agree and leave them to find men who do." Well, before she will believe it, you have to believe it. Because if you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be pretty hard to get a woman to believe in you and trust you and follow your leadership, and her to feel safe and comfortable enough to let you lead her and submit to you, especially if she's going to become a stay-at-home mom and depend on you for everything. So let's go through his email. He says, "Hey, Coach Corey, while I'm finishing up my second read of 3% Man, I wanted to get your take on social value and how it relates to women. Having a higher social value to a woman is a man's trump card with her." And so when you study hypergamy, I think it comes from the Indian culture, if I'm not mistaken. And it's basically says that a woman wants to date up. In other words, she wants to date above her social class, if you will. And that's a big thing that's discussed in the red pill community. And the way I look at that is just men and women both. We all want to date people that we kind of perceive, or maybe we oftentimes falsely believe are better than us or out of our league. Because having the attitude that somebody's better than you, or you're not worthy to date somebody of a certain caliber, really is a reflection of how you feel about yourself and how you believe in yourself. And the number one most important thing to women that they find attractive in men is confidence. And so if you don't feel worthy to be there, if you act like you don't deserve her, eventually she's going to agree with you. And the problem where this comes in is when you look at what's in our culture, in our movies and our TV shows, that's typically what you see with the guys. Is the guys are always constantly acting unworthy and like they don't deserve the woman. And even guys that are married are always talking about how my better half, she's better than me. And that's cutesy and everything, but at the end of the day, they're basically communicating that they're not worthy and they don't deserve their women. And as a man, you should believe that you do deserve her, that you got a great match and a great teammate, and she pulls her weight, and vice versa. You make a great team. You're not beneath her, and vice versa. She's not beneath you. But she wants you to be strong and confident in yourself and your ability to lead her, because otherwise she's not going to feel safe and comfortable enough trusting your masculine core completely. And the less a woman trusts you and your masculine core, the more she's going to test you and be uncertain. He says, "You teach the ways of high social value through being centered in your masculine and remain purpose-driven, which is very natural and healthy way to elevate yourself in a woman's eyes." Well, it's not so much about elevating yourself so she likes you. It's just reaching your full potential as a man, having an emotionally compelling vision for yourself and your life and what you want to create, having some kind of life's work, that some kind of mission, some kind of purpose that is emotionally compelling. Because after all, that's the embodiment of masculine energy. And if you want a feminine woman to be attracted to your masculine side, you've got to display competent masculinity. That means that you're able to earn a good living through providing some kind of product or service, either through a company you work for or maybe a company that you own if you are an entrepreneur. Because men who are successful at adding value to the world are successful at being masculine. Masculine energies, purpose, drive, mission, succeeding, accomplishing, breaking through barriers, overcoming challenges, and doing it consistently by being disciplined. This is what attracts women to men. It's not about a gimmick or playing a game. It's about being competent. Competent in a way that everybody recognizes that you're exceptional. You go above and beyond all the average people that you're surrounded by. And all of us are surrounded by average and mediocre people. And so when you discipline yourself and you apply yourself in things you love and you enjoy and you obsess over them, you become exceptional at them. I.e., you look at somebody like a Tom Brady who reached the pinnacle of what an NFL player was capable of. In other words, he reached his full potential because he was willing to discipline himself in a way that almost 100% of the other guys that he was competing against just simply were not willing to do. And there's Tom Brady's in all fields of achievement. And so the more you embody that alpha male energy, the alpha is going for what you want, beta is shrinking from what you want because you don't believe you can pull it off. So back to his email. He says, you further enforce this through the careful use of time and attention to maintain the social edge over the woman of interest. Yeah, I can see a lot of the red pill community stuff is creeping into this guy's mindset, and it's like it's a competition. Really, relationships are a collaboration. You're supposed to be teammates. It's not a gimmick. It's not a game. It's you being your best and being amazing at being you to the point where she admires your competency and your discipline, because it's your competency and your discipline that makes her feel safe and comfortable around you. You're willing to do the things that most of the people around you and around her, for that matter, the average people in society, are just simply unwilling to do. And if you want to date up, if you want to get the best quality mate, then you want to be disciplined and extremely competent. If you keep her chasing after you, she maintains a stance that you have higher social value. Well, women are naturally, instinctively wired to seek a man's attention and validation. Everything about a woman is designed to receive a man's strength, his interest. That's why they wear the makeup. That's why they do their nails. That's why they do their hair. That's why they try on 20 outfits before they go out on a date with you. They are focused on being as visually stimulating and mentally enticing as they can be. He says this in turn gives you an advantage over guys that are chasing after her, the 97%. Well, the very nature of chasing a woman is over pursuing to the point where that's the kind of thing that somebody that doesn't feel worthy would do. Somebody that knows he's amazing and his competency and his reputation precedes him, women notice this, and then they want to be around him and get his attention. One of my favorite movies that displays this is the George Bailey character in the movie It's a Wonderful Life. They just did a great job of capturing that. Because at that particular time when that movie was made, that's how men acted. Men did not want to settle down and have babies. They loved beautiful women, but they were really interested in seeing the world and doing the things that they wanted to do with their life. And if they found a great girl to share it with, that was the icing on the cake. That's the cherry on top of the hot fudge sundae. Internalizing the ideas of 3% man beats pickup gimmicks and tricks every day of the week when it comes to building lasting social value with women, because gimmicks and tricks will work for a short time. Yeah, the gimmicks at the end of the day is putting on an act, being an actor, because there's really nothing behind the acts. And once they run out of magic tricks and gimmicks, then the woman's going to see who they really are. And once they're, like when you study the pickup and seduction community, that was a big problem with all those guys, is once they ran out of gimmicks, the woman realized there's nothing of substance to these guys. They have nothing going on in their lives other than the game of pickup and presenting a false image of who they really were. He says, am I off course with this understanding? If I'm on the right track, the concepts may boil down to this. If you act in ways that imply she holds the higher social value, she will accept it as fact. Well, if you act like a bitch, women will treat you like a bitch. If you act like you're unworthy constantly and constantly putting her on a pedestal and kissing her ass and acting like she's doing you a favor to be there, that's displaying a lack of confidence. And women want you to be more masculine than they are. And so if they're displaying more confidence than you, they're displaying more masculinity than you are. That ruins the sexual polarity, and therefore they lose interest. He says, and eventually you will get replaced by a suitor who demonstrates a higher social value to hers. Well, you'll get replaced by a guy who's more disciplined and more competent at being a man. That's what it boils down to. Alternatively, if you act in ways that implies you hold the higher social value, she will also accept it as a fact of winning her over becomes a matter of when instead of if. Well, I don't look at it as you winning the woman over. She should be winning you over. Because at the end of the day, the last thing a guy wants to do is settle down, because we're innately driven to seek freedom. But it's a woman's agreeable attitude, her fun, her joy, her playfulness, her femininity, her sex appeal, her agreeableness, her being easygoing, easy to get along with. These are the kinds of things that cause a man to say, I think she's winning me over. Just like Mary won over Jimmy Stewart's character, George Bailey, in the movie It's a Wonderful Life. She was scheming and plotting through the whole love story of the movie. She even says at one point in the movie, I want my babies to look like you. So she was seeking his approval, attention, and validation, not the other way around. And that's the attitude that you want to have. He says she will believe you one way or another, and it can work for you or against you, so it might as well make it work for you. Again, that's why I place such a big emphasis on purpose, drive, mission, succeeding, accomplishing, breaking through barriers, what I talk about in 3% Man. Acting like a man is supposed to act, a man who would be worthy of any exceptional woman if he displays competency consistently. Day in, day out, week after week, month after month, year after year. Even when he doesn't feel like it, he's disciplined to keep the grind going forward, much like I've been doing for these past 16, 17 years, whatever it has been that I've been doing this. I get up and I grind and I do the work, even when I get up in days and I don't feel like doing it. I have to do it. It's who I am. It's my purpose. It's my mission. And I don't do it because of women. I do it because it pleases me. I do it because it's my purpose. It's why I was put on this earth. And I'm doing my very best to execute that purpose and make it happen. And the women are just the bonus. So if you got a question or a challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.